Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by Kolar Arms, America's competition shotgun, and is fueled by Fiocchi.
Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast, coming in hot with everything you want to hear about sporting clays. With your hosts, Jason Rambo.
This is what I have to work with, everyone.
And Sean Alley.
Like I said, I was just thirsty.
Oh, boy.
Often imitated, but never duplicated. It's the Dead Pair Podcast. It's showtime.
We're back, Mr. Alley. What's up, my friend?
Well, Jason, I tell you what, man, it's busy here. It's getting busy. The spring boom is finally in full effect. I think everybody's starting to shake off the winter doldrums. And just all around the horn, you can see everybody's getting busy and revved up for better weather.
Yep, that's a fact. And trap sales are picking up. So just a reminder to anybody, if you're looking for an Atlas trap or Rainier Claybot or anything I can do to help, man, I mean, you're kind of pushing it now. So come on and get on it, and we'll get it to you as quick as we can. But yes, you're right, Sean. Everybody's seeing warmer weather. Everybody wants to get out and bust some birds, and it is definitely time to do so. So yeah. What's next on the list for you, Sean? You going to anything up there in Ohio?
Just going to be shooting some local stuff. Airport's going to be having a couple tournaments coming up, Eagles Nest, as well as Hillendale, and of course Cardinal. I don't know exact dates off the top of my head, but I'm going to be sticking around home, as you know, for the next month or two. And then of course we've got the Ohio State coming up, the Northeast Regional coming up, and then of course Dan's having that big Grand Prix for FUTASC. Yep. So busy summer here in Ohio. Yeah,
for sure. That's by the time everybody's hearing this, I'll be a week away from the Florida State, so that'll be good. Looks like the NSCA is finally getting everything caught up on the website. Everybody's shoot info is starting to update on their on their profiles. So That's good. But Sean, we're talking to Mr. Paul Coughlin tonight from Taconic Distilleries, and it's not just whether or not you're into bourbon. I mean, the story that I know, you and I talking to him, we know what he's going to tell us. The story behind not only the distillery but him into shooting it's pretty cool. So I'm anxious to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, he's a big outdoorsman, number one, loves to shoot, loves to be outside enjoying himself, and very passionate about sporting clays as well as his bourbon business.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, another thing too, we don't have a attorney talk this week, but we have been getting a lot of emails about shoots. And if it's a charity shoot, as much as we would love to help, I mean, Sean and I literally could get on here every single day of the week for 2 or 3 hours and announce charity shoots. So if it's on Score Chaser, and we haven't announced it, you'd like us to announce it, please send it to us. We'd be happy to add it into Tourney Talk. But like the non-registered charity shoots, it's kind of hard for us to hit all of them. I know there's a lot of great causes out there, but please bear with us. We can only do so much in the time we have.
And as a reminder, guys, just remember, we do have our Facebook page on the Dead Pair, so you're welcome to post up shoot information there.
Yeah.
That gets a lot of views, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You can do it at any time you want to. I mean, again, as long as it's in good taste and nothing out of context, then feel free you have our permission to post up your shoot dates and whatever information you want to plug in there, and it'll get seen by a lot of people.
Yeah, I had somebody email me a while back, hey, you mind if I post this? I'm like, man, that's what that page is there for. Help yourself.
That's right. That's right.
But now anxious to talk to Mr. Paul Coughlin with Taconic Distilleries. I'll learn how to talk here in a minute. Now, and this is, again, we sound like broken records, man, but if you haven't already got your raffle ticket for the Dead Pair Kolar gun, please get in on that. We've hopefully got some news coming about the shoot at the end of the year. I know what everybody's going to ask, but just bear with us. We're working on some information on that. And then also don't forget about the discounts that both Taconic and RE Ranger offer. Both of them are 10% off your order. Just use the code DEADPAIR10 at checkout. All one word, no spaces, and save 10% off your order.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you that don't know Paul, he's a great ambassador to the sport, number one, and he supports several of us in the community. So he's a very generous guy as well. And I tell you what, if you haven't had a chance to or an opportunity to try his products, I would highly advise anybody to go out there and give something a shot. He's probably got something in his menu that you'd like. Not just bourbon, but he's got gin, he's got rum, he's got what's some of the other stuff? Oh, he's got that bourbon cream for my coffee. I love that stuff though. God, it's so good.
I was talking to Rick Webb. He said his wife just absolutely loves that stuff. And
dude, you know, it's addictive as hell. It is.
Yeah. Well, let's get on the phone with Paul, see what he has to say, and we'll be right back.
The Dead Pair.
All right, joining us on the phone, one of our great sponsors, Mr. Paul Coughlin. Paul, how you doing this evening?
I'm great, guys. How you doing?
Paul, doing awesome, and thank you for joining us. I mean, look, I thought I was busy. Sean thought he was busy. You got an insane schedule, man. I don't know how you do it, but thank you for catching up with us. Paul, for our listeners, let's just start from the beginning. How did you get involved, and how did you start shooting sporting clays?
So the sporting clays was, I would say, probably got hardcore into it during COVID. Previously, I was more of I would call it a social clays person, you know, your occasional charity event. I could always hold my own. But during COVID, when we had a lot of free time, I started a Friday group where we would go out, shoot, have lunch. Obviously, during COVID, it got really, really big, and then it started to peter out when people started going back to work.
So you went from recreational, but you transitioned into the competition side, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't know what a registered shoot was in 2020.
Oh, wow. But it's not just shotguns. You're into all kinds of firearms.
I'm into all sorts of goodies. So when I was a kid, it's probably my parents' fault for not letting me get a BB gun, a pellet gun when I was a kid. So I ended up going the other direction. But I wasn't a real gun nut. I had a college roommate who was into shooting. So kind of, was shooting shotguns. This is back in the late 80s. I mean, I don't even think we had eye or ear protection back then, but I enjoyed it. Wow. I'm a competitive person. And then probably the late 80s, I was on a business trip down to South Padre Island in Texas. And one of the guys there ended up being a King Ranch family member, and being a Yankee, being from New York, I had no clue what the King Ranch was, and became friends with him, or to this day are still good friends with him. And I've probably been down there 30 times the past couple of years, hunting everything from deer, quail, turkey, nilgai, which is a unique thing to South Texas. So that kind of got me into it. And then in my late 30s, somebody bought me a Kimber double stack 1911 45, which was a terrible, terrible gun. Kimber at that point was in Yonkers, which was not that far away from where we are in New York. I had so many problems with that pistol. They would see me too much that they ended up, giving me a new gun. But at that point, we started getting into, and then they fixed it. They make decent guns now. Not as good as the Colts, but I'll get into that in a second. And then in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is right over the New York border, where we raised our kids, there I joined a pistol club. And on Monday nights, they had, call it action combat pistol, which is, holstered, loaded, running and gunning, shooting at targets, cover, this, that, reloading, and, fell in love with doing that stuff. Still did the shotgun occasionally. And then out in Long Island, joined a place as well where it was outdoors. So it was, the stations these guys could put together were crazy. You're shooting through cars, through windows, through doors, on seesaws. It was a lot of fun. And then, fast forward a couple more years, we purchased a beef farm up in Stanfordville, New York, which is probably an hour and 15 minutes from Greenwich. Mainly because I joined a gun club here, a shotgun club and a bird hunting club. And I just wanted some land, built a log cabin. And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, we have all this land. What are we going to do with it? That's when we started the distillery. Now, in the middle of doing the distillery, I was approached by a group in 2015, of which I joined up with, to purchase Colt firearms out of bankruptcy. So that kind of got me all into the government contracts, 1911s, the whole deal. And then during COVID, we got into shooting more shotgun. So kind of soup to nuts, in getting into guns. We did a lot of 3-gun stuff up, I would say in New England, until about 10 years ago. The laws changed and they basically killed 3-gun with the magazine capacity laws.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Well, Paul, let me back up, specifically speaking about the shotgun stuff. So how far into the deep end did you go? I mean, when you started shooting, obviously you probably stayed local for a while, but did the bug catch you where you're actually going out and traveling to other states and big shoots and kind of doing it up like that?
Yeah, so I would say, I think when I got out of college, my college roommate was pushing me. I bought a Beretta. This has got to be 87, 88, a Beretta 686 Silver Pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
Which I shot for, 30-something years. Never, ever had a problem with the gun. Loved it. And then, of course, once you get into this sport, you've got all the peer pressure, like you need to buy a fancy gun. You need to buy a fancy gun. So,
yeah.
Right. So then I was like, okay, I'm a loyal Beretta guy. The first pistol I ever bought was a Beretta 92, back to the old John McClane Christmas gun. But so I get the 694, love it. It shoots fine. And then they're like, no, you got to get a better gun. So then I fall and I get a DT11, which I shoot to this day. But I'm not convinced that I shot any better with the DT11 than the 686 Silver Pigeon. But that's a whole nother marketing thing. Yeah, but no. So
that's the roundabout conversation that happens all the time. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always saying it's the operator, not the tool, and always as a buddy of mine says, never be afraid of a $20,000 gun. Be afraid of a guy with an 870 Remington with the bluing worn off.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's
very true. Yes.
Absolutely true. So where we are, where I am right now, where the distillery is as well in the Hudson Valley, is a huge sporting clays bastion in New York State. So we've got Vernon National is a little bit further away from us. They've held the New York State Championships the last couple of years, but right down the street, within I don't want to say a stone's throw, Orvis, Mashomick, 10 Mile River, Pauling Mountain Club, Tamarack, and then a little bit further down, Willowwood, Campfire Club. So a lot of the best shooters in New York are here. So I shot a lot, and you get a lot of mentorship up here. But when I really started going out a little bit, we also have Mid Hudson up here. One of the guys we shot with said, "Oh, you got to go to M&M," and that is, I think that if you think you're a good shooter, that's where you go to test yourself. And I went down there and took a beating, and that probably got me even more into it in terms of, okay, now I got to have a game plan. I got to learn how to shoot different birds. We don't have these presentations up here. And that's when we got involved with the Matareses and Anthony.
Gotcha. Well, that's definitely humbling because I think we've all been there. It's like we think we know how to shoot, then we actually go out to places where they throw some big targets, and then you learn real quick, okay, I got work to do. So that's a very common story.
And then I got a buddy that lives down in Vero Beach. So we started going down and shooting the Caribbean Cup. I know there are a whole bunch of them down there, but the Caribbean Cup always worked in our schedule. And then got hooked up with you guys. And then last December, we went down and shot the Dead Pear Blast.
Right, which was a great time. And we really appreciate you being down there and being hospitable to everybody that came and attended. That was a great
very
one.
Cool.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to switch gears kind of a little bit because obviously one of the bigger things we want to talk about is you've got a distillery and you guys make all kinds of cool stuff. So give us a little bit of background on that and like when did that get started and what made you interested in that side of things?
Okay. Well, the first thing, this is a second career for me. My background was in the investment world. And the distillery started in 2014. So I would guess in 2011 or 2012, we came across a company, and we always work with trouble companies, that there was an alcohol, call it licensing royalty thing. So I spent a lot of time, read a lot of books, visited a lot of people, and thought it was an interesting business that, at some point might be attractive to me to get into. But, like a long story short, we bought this farm. We had all this land and we would look around. My wife and I would say, listen, we got to do something with the property. We can't just let it sit idle. Started growing corn. And then the bourbon started 2014. And we also got lucky. I mean, we definitely we weren't early in the wave, but we definitely caught the wave in terms of brown spirits, cocktails, the younger kids getting back into it. And it was, it was a great run. COVID was absolutely crazy. It was like Christmas every month. People were drinking 7 days a week, which was great for business.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was literally crazy. It was nuts, but a lot of fun. But what we did was we did it for 2 years to kind of see what happened. Obviously, it took off. We were stretched out. And then in 2016, we built a large facility on the property and put a big Vendome. Vendome is kind of the Mercedes, BMW of the steel manufacturers out of Louisville, Kentucky. And got a big column still. And then we hired a guy from Buffalo Trace to come up and teach everyone how to run it. So now everyone has the skill set to run it. Expanded, started in New York, kind of like a protractor, went to Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I think now we're in 22 states. We built a second rick house, which houses the barrels. That's filled. We're on our third rick house right now. We probably are sitting on, 5,000 or 6,000 barrels of bourbon. And we distill bourbon and rye whiskey. That's all we do is whiskey.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, you guys got some excellent products. I mean, Jason and I have been lucky enough to sample the majority of them. What do you think is your most popular item that people go back to time and time again?
So in terms of sales, the most popular item was our first product. It's the Dutchess Private Reserve, named after Dutchess County, where we are in New York. Our straight bourbon whiskey, which now we're selling a product that's right around 6 years old. And that's a 90 proof product. What's weird is the number one single barrel pick, and there's a whole group of people out there and some stores that like to come and visit, taste a whole bunch of barrels, and literally say, I want that barrel. Don't proof it down. I'll take it at 115, 120, whatever. I want it bottled. I'll buy it. The number one barrel pick is our maple bourbon, which I know you guys love.
Oh, yeah. We love it.
That's
Absolutely.
my favorite.
Yeah, it's not too sweet. There's a little bit of hint on the nose and the finish, but I think it's big because once you get out of New England, people don't have maple trees. So it's, once you get below Kolar, Washington, D.C., it's kind of a unique product. And we sell a lot of it down south.
Well, also, you guys, sorry, Jason, I was just going to ask one last thing. You guys actually do make your own maple syrup there too as well, right?
Yeah, we have a huge secondary business in bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, where we take the bourbon barrels, empty them out, fill them with 53 gallons of organic New York State maple syrup, let that sit, get some temperature, and then, 4 or 5 months later, bottle that as a whole different product. And then how we get the double barrel maple is put the bourbon back in those glazed barrels, throw it in a shipping container for a couple months to get some extra heat transfer, and then bottle it and sell it. And we do that at 2 products, a 90 and 115 proof.
Well, what I was going to say, Paul, is, it's obvious by the plethora of products that Taconic offers, how passionate everybody there is about, distillery and fine spirits. Does everyone that works at Taconic, or is they as passionate about shooting as you are, or would you say the majority of them are?
Yeah, the vast majority of them are. I mean, we have a whole team that we shoot with up here. That's all of our guys, and some of the younger guys are good.
Well, that most of the time the younger ones are better than us old farts.
Yeah, it's nice to have young eyes and young reflexes.
Heck yes! Don't we wish we could go back?
But yeah, the other thing is the shooting community. It's a good community to be involved with because you've got people that spend money. You've got people that like to enjoy their free time and after a good competition, kick back a little bit. And the other thing that I love about the gun community, and this is what we found out really, really early when we were shooting the combat pistol stuff. I mean, down in Connecticut, you'd have Department of Public Works, sanitation guys on one side. You'd have the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, and nobody cared what you did for a living. Nobody cared how big your house was or what kind of car you drive. There was a shared, pleasure in the freedom of shooting sports. And that's unique to our community.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. And, Paul, listen, Sean and I have told you privately, and I just want to say it publicly, we're very honored and humbled to have Taconic on board with us. One of the things that I was going to bring up is you don't only support us, but you also support like Blaze Whitehead. So what drives you and Taconic to have sponsors within the industry like that? Obviously you're passionate about the sport. I understand that, but is there more motive behind it than just the passion, or you just want to help people? I mean, what do you?
Yeah,
think?
There's always a self-interest. We definitely want to market ourselves to the shooting community and sell more booze because that gives us flexibility to do more stuff. Blaze was a guy. I think you guys know Chris Fustel, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm not like personal friends with him, but yes, I know who he is.
So he's a buddy of mine that I met through the shooting community, and he travels a lot more than I do. And I said to him, I'd like to find a young guy starting out, well behaved. I don't want this to bite me in the ass. To sponsor him. And he, without a beat, said Blaze Whitehead. And I think we got involved with Blaze right around COVID, so 3-4 years. And knock on wood, he's shot the lights out, no pun intended. And I saw him last week down at M&M. But I tell him, I said, listen, we gave you the confidence to do it. He'll obviously dispute that. But those are the guys, we'll torture him a little bit. But, he's a great representative of the sport, and we're happy to help him.
Yeah, you guys chose a fine athlete in Blaze. I mean, he's well-spoken. He's a gentleman. He's very respectful and hell of a competitor. I mean, I tell you what, if you give him an inch, he's gonna get you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, very good on him.
But I saw him down there. We do a kind of a boys trip once a year down at M&M where we rent the lodge and bring 10 to 12 guys down and do, 3 days of shooting. And I ran to him and Sean down there. And my question to those two guys is always, how much money did you squander at the last make or break?
Oh my gosh! I tell you what, the only one
They're
worse
addicts.
than those, the only one worse than those two is Brandon. I mean, it's like, is Brandon on the course? No, where's he at? I'll give you one guess. He's at make or break.
Yeah, it's funny, but they can make more. They can make more money winning that.
Yeah, that's the shame of it. Yeah, you're right.
If I've ever been looking for him, I just take a quick stop over at the make or break, and 9 times out of 10, he's there.
It is funny.
When you have to list your emergency contact is Ed Pritchell at make or break.
Oh Lord. Well, Paul, I tell you what, man. Circling back, yes, we just got done with the Dead Pear Blast the end of last year. You were gracious enough to host our cocktail hour. You got a lot of pretty good feedback, and I know we did too as well. What is it that makes you decide what to bring? Because obviously, I mean, you make rum. You make your own rum and vodka and all that other stuff that you sell?
We definitely push the whiskey, but we have other SKUs as well a lot of them we just sell at the distillery. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you brought down I think it was a premix of an old fashioned, right? That's something that was new to me. I hadn't seen that before. So that was really good.
Something. So we have a tasting room and a retail store associated with the distillery, literally right next door. And COVID was obviously crazy. I think that the health department allowed us to have, with all the 6-foot stuff, maybe we could have 15 people in there. And I'd go in there some weekends and there'd be 100 people. And I'm thinking, I hope the health department doesn't show up. But what we did, we started pre-mixing drinks, the maple old fashions, Negronis, which you can make with gin, and then Manhattans, because in COVID, no one wanted your paws in their drink. So
right.
We started pre-mixing them, and then New York State allowed us to sell them. And then once COVID was over, they stopped it. And then just recently we applied with the ATF to have basically a bottled cocktail. And that's what we brought down. So we will sell you the pre-made, the maple old fashions, which people love those things. So I brought that. I brought down, and you guys might have a better memory than I did, but I brought down the bourbon, the maple bourbon, which is always a hit. And I think I brought the pre-made old fashions. I don't know if I did we also do a rum old fashioned, which is a way to drink brown liquor, especially in the summer, year round. The rum old fashions are fantastic.
Yeah, that was my go-to every time I went up there. It's like another old fashioned, old fashioned.
Yeah.
And you guys are looking at me like, okay, that's enough.
People love those. People love them.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it's a great cocktail, period, because it's mainly alcohol, but also if you're getting into whiskey and, are afraid of the proofs and everything, old fashioned's great. And, if you're worried, add a little more ice or put a little more maple syrup in there, take the bite out.
Yeah.
But that is my drink of choice.
Well, now that we've got everybody's appetite going, we extended, you extended a discount to our listeners, which is Dead Pair 10, all one word, DEADPAIR, the numbers 10 at checkout, for a discount on their order through your website. I know that we've just recently announced it, but I'm hoping that people are taking advantage of this. Have you noticed anything yet? Have you seen any traction on it yet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good.
Hey, Paul, on an unrelated note, I've become a big fan of that bourbon cream you guys have in my coffee. I tell you what, man,
gosh.
I don't know what kind of feedback you get out of that stuff, but I absolutely love it.
The bourbon cream is unique. It's not a connoisseur product. Everybody likes it. And it's 100 proof bourbon, maple syrup, and heavy cream.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And on a weekend, I'm telling you what, Jason, on a weekend, like Saturday morning, like especially around the holidays was when I first started trying it, when I got that new bottle in. I think we went through 2 bottles at Christmas with the family, like after dinner. And I mean, about burn up the coffee maker because everybody kept wanting to go back and get another cup of that stuff. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious.
That's the Alley family Christmas right there.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. The other thing is you'd think it's a cold weather drink. We sell as much in the summer as we do in the winter. People love it over ice or put it in the fridge or the freezer. It might get a little bit clunky in the freezer, but what I like doing with it is if you want to take a nap, get some vanilla ice cream and make a milkshake.
Oh, my.
And then drink that and then take like a nice little half-hour nap.
Did you just...
Oh, he's full of all kinds of great information, isn't he, Jason?
You should have seen, everybody listening to this, you should have seen the twinkle in Sean's eyes when he said pour it over ice cream. Sean,
that's fat guy magic right there, man. I'm telling you. That is fat guy magic.
Oh, God. It's liquid fat guy crack. That's right. Right there is what it is. So, Paul, this has been awesome, man. And I hope anybody listening to this, if they get a chance to meet you out at the shoot, you're going to understand why we love this guy so much. He's a lot of fun to be around. And again, Paul, sincerely, we are honored and humbled that you're part of the program here at the Dead Pair. And we hope it lasts forever, regardless of how much great bourbon you make. So, but no, thank you very much, man. We appreciate it so much.
No, I'm happy to help and happy to be on. The next time we'll be pouring at a shotgun event will be the Seafood Blast down at M&M.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
And yeah, you were there at the World Sporting last year at M&M.
Yeah, we started doing all the events with the Matarisi's probably 3 years ago. So we did the World. So we do the 2 big ones are Seafood Blast in April, and then in October, I think it's October. No, maybe late September, the Delaware Cup.
Okay.
So we're always there. We're always there for those events. This year, we're also doing in May. I think it's New Jersey Championship and FITAS Championships. So we'll be there. Nice. It is a great spot, and a lot of fun, and there are good people to work with as well.
Plus, we haven't announced it yet. But you're going to be joining us for the Dead Pair Blast again this year. New venue, new date. Stay tuned, everyone. But hey,
we'll be there.
Opportunity. Yeah, great opportunity to come enjoy some Taconic Distillery. And just so everybody's clear on all this, we're talking about guns and firearms and shooting and whiskey and stuff. When the tournament's over, it's time to enjoy one last shot with Taconic Distilleries. So. Safety first and adults only. So,
that's right.
I feel like a movie rating program here all of a sudden, but no, thank you again, Paul. Sincerely. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you for your support, Paul. And we look forward to seeing you the next time we're out shooting sometime.
All right, guys. Happy to be here. Thank you.
The Dead Pair.
All right, everyone. This is a surprise little segment here we have. Thought it was important to include this in the show. We have with us from Kolar, Mr. Kevin McNamara. What's up, Kevin?
Going on, guys? Thanks for having us.
And yeah, always.
Good to see you, Kevin.
And joining us, new to Kolar, is Mr. Ryan Smith. What's up, Ryan?
How's it going, guys? Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, you, just to give a quick introduction to everybody, Kevin, you are technically the assembly supervisor and head of service on the sporting side, which I don't think you get enough credit for because you handle way more than that, but we won't go there because Sean Manley might be listening. Ryan, you are
Appreciate
the new director. You're the new director of sales and you support dealers and customers. Tell us a little bit about your new role and how you stepped into this.
Yeah, so I have a big hospitality background, and then most recently was at Northbrook Sports Club and was in charge of membership over there. And so they've got a large membership group, and so it was kind of reinventing the culture over there and creating a hospitable environment for shooters to come in and not only shoot, get to know each other, create friendships and everything, and really further grow the sport. And so that's what I'm going to be bringing to Kolar is just be there to help with communication and sales, work with vendors a lot, and be kind of a point guy so that they can stop bothering Kevin.
Well, that's no fun. We like bothering Kevin. So.
You'll still have your chance, I promise.
Well, and another thing too, real quick, just so everybody knows, you guys are going to be at the U.S. Open. And when I say you guys, it's Kevin and Ryan. I think you guys are actually dragging Sean out of the office, Sean Mainland, and his sister Brooke is going to be there as well. Am I right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yep.
About time Sean gets back on the road. So
Yeah.
sure his wife's not going to be too happy with it, but we will be.
He'll probably enjoy that more than changing diapers here recently. So
I don't know. I think he enjoys it.
And with Ryan coming on board, that probably gives Sean a little bit of a break from all the celebrity status of being the head at Kolar, and hopefully Ryan will be able to kind of fill in there, and he'll be able to sneak. Sean will be able to sneak off in the back room somewhere and have a coffee or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I'd like to think of myself as kind of the trap door between Sean
There you go.
and all the shooters looking for a conversation.
Well, this will be a nice introduction for him.
yeah.
We're really going to set his feet to the fire when we bring him to SCTP Nationals in, was that July?
Oh,
boy.
boy.
So,
Yeah.
That's when you need to go to the back room. You know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I,
Yep. I know
What's
when
wrong
to
with
run and hide.
3,500 kids running around the place?
Exactly.
yeah. What's that, Sean? What'd you say?
I said, what's wrong with 3,500 kids running around someplace?
right.
I mean, come on.
It is a blast, though. I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is.
When I go to the
Yes, it
Cardinal Center during SCTP and I want to see Kevin, I don't even go in the front door. I just bang on the back door. I'm like, Candy Graham, he knows it's me. So,
Yep. And that's why it stays locked sometimes.
yeah, right. Gee, thanks, Kevin. But no, one of the reasons why people ought to get over and see you guys, not only are you guys going to have a bunch of awesome new Kolars on display, but you're also going to have the Dead Pair Kolar drawing gun there, right?
That is the plan.
Mhm.
You know, I haven't seen the final product yet, but from what I understand, it's looking pretty killer. So
Yeah. Well, we saw the renderings of it. Thanks to Mr. Alley and Mr. Mainland, they both put their heads together. I know that's scary. There was a little bit of shift in the matrix when that happened, but
Two Seans can't be wrong. Remember that.
oh, geez, here we go. But
thanks who you ask.
it is a beautiful gun. Somebody's going to be very lucky, and I hope everybody gets over and checks that out. Have you seen it yet, Ryan? Have you seen the rendering of that?
I have seen some pictures of it, and it looks pretty awesome. It's going to be a really impressive piece of work.
Yeah, for sure. And then you guys are going to have tickets and all that other kind of stuff. If somebody doesn't want to purchase online, you'll have physical tickets
Yep.
there. So, and putting that
Absolutely.
on Sean
absolutely.
Alley's shoulders to make that happen between now and then. So,
Oh yeah, we'll get her done, and they'll have a nice little counter display too, so you can advertise that on your counter somewhere.
You know, we
absolutely.
got
I'm
it.
a big coffee drinker, and if I don't sell any tickets, then I can't have my coffee. So we'll make it happen.
There you go. There you go.
Like just dangle some Folgers over his head, Sean. That's all it takes. We're going to sell some tickets. So.
I'll send him a bag of Werthers to go with that as well, I guess.
There you go.
Even better.
Ryan, so question for you. I mean, this opportunity came about with Kolar. I mean, tell us like your day-to-day operations. Like, what does that look like? I mean,
Yeah. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm spending a lot of time with Kevin and a lot of time with the other guys in the shop, because if I'm gonna, the gun itself is beautiful and pretty. I can sell that all day, but what I really want is to be able to explain the inner workings and why this is a superior tool, why this is going to improve your game, and why you should be shooting a Kolar. And I think the best way to do that is to spend time with the masters of the craft, and Kevin and a bunch of the other guys included in that. And so I'll get in the morning and really just, the nice thing is they've been patient with me, because I know that they are cruising through, and I'm asking probably a lot of nonsensical questions to them, but they've been really patient and affording me the time to really learn the inner workings of what they do and how that benefits Kolar, and how that in turn, produces such a well-crafted shotgun. So I kind of float around the office and spend time with everybody to learn more about the inner workings of the gun. And then after that, I'll be spending time getting to know the vendors and everybody. But it's really been a great time so far in the short couple of weeks I've been with Kolar. But I can't appreciate the group enough. And I think that, in my first couple of days and meeting everyone and how welcoming they were, and open to sharing how, their craft goes into it, and the time and dedication that they have has been greatly appreciated.
Awesome. And now you're also going to kind of act as a little bit of a liaison between like the customer and the dealers, right? Like kind of helping make that connection a little bit. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got their role there, and business is really picking up. And so what I hope to bring is be able to take care of the communication aspect, to where, if a customer wants to know, hey, what step are we at? I'm pretty excited to get my gun. Then I can, explain to them where they are at in the process, and if they want to make any modifications along the way, and just to add to the customer experience that already exists, but to really try to take it to the next level.
Okay, gotcha. Kevin, go ahead. I'm sorry, Sean.
Well, I was going to go over Kevin because he's been too quiet over there. Kevin, I know listen, man, every time I see you somewhere, you are just hair on fire busy. What's your next big gig? What, US Open, or where are you going?
Yeah, US Open. Of course, that's the wrong schedule. Pretty much all the big sporting shoots we'll be at this year. Generally, I'm at all the majors for sporting. I will hit, like we were talking about, the SCTP Nationals.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'll hit about one ski shoot a year. That's the Northbrook Ski Classic, and obviously at Northbrook. But that's about it. Summer's pretty packed up with sporting.
Yeah, for those of you that are listening and may not know Kevin, he's pretty much, you're kind of the guy, the service guy. I mean, if you got a problem or a question about a Kolar, Kevin, you really can't do much better than going with Kevin. That guy is busy from sun up to sundown at the Nationals. I mean, I see him every year down there. It just seems like there's just never enough hours in the day, Kevin, but you do a great job, and you've definitely helped both these idiots on the Dead Pair more times than we can count. So we appreciate all the help that you've given us.
I appreciate the kind words, but I'd be lying if I told you I was the head guy. Cody Calhoun's actually our head service guy. You'll see him more on the trap side than anything. But yeah, I mean, I'm a face. You'll see it all the sporting stuff. Definitely at Nationals every year, and you're right, it is hair on fire. Go.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have it any other way. We want to be in business if we didn't have the customers that we do, and being able to take care of them at all the shoots. So
absolutely, I just wanted to point that out because, again, you are busy all the time, and there's a reason for that. So I appreciate all the help that you've given me and Jason over the years, and we look forward to a continued relationship with you.
Well, and a point in that too, if you are looking for service at the US Open for your Kolar, make sure that you get over and schedule that with Kevin, because You know what I mean, Kevin? I've seen people walk in the door. Hey, I need a service on this, and I'm shooting in 2 hours. It's like, no. It's you're not the only one that's walked in the door.
In 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I do like when we have a nice schedule set up, but we will take care of you one way or another. I can't guarantee a 10-minute service job, but if you give me just a little bit of time, even if it's last minute, I'm more than happy to take care of you. 9 times out of 10, it's something that I can have done in 10 to 15 minutes, anyways. So it's just a little bit of juggling around. So whether you have it scheduled or not, make sure you come see us. We will get you taken care of. Check out some of the nice stuff that we have. We're gonna have some very pretty guns. So if you're ready to upgrade, definitely come see me. Come see Ryan, Sean, Brooke. Give me a good time.
Yeah, and check out that new Kolar Dead Pair gun, right?
Hey guys, honestly, that is such a phenomenal opportunity for whoever wins that gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just don't see a better way to get into something like that than.
I told Jason, I said, the biggest thing I hate about this whole deal is that we're not eligible.
Well, I've been trying to work out a couple ways where I can get my girlfriend to buy a couple tickets, but
there you go.
No.
The old
Sean's like,
bend
well, what
the
if I have my
corner, huh?
Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
No funny business.
Sean Alley's asked me a couple times, well, what if I have my Wi-Fi ticket? I'm like, if anybody with the last name of Alley or Rambo wins this thing, you can just forget it right here and now. So
Yep, exactly.
It's off the table. But no, it is a beautiful gun. I think, like you said, that's a heck of an opportunity for anybody that wins it. But well, listen, guys, this has been awesome. Ryan, welcome to the team. Look forward to meeting you at the Open. Kevin, we're going to have an adult beverage while you're there in the evening. So plan on that.
Be a real shame.
Yes, it'd be terrible, won't it? And we'll send pictures to Sean Alley back home and tell him, we miss you, buddy. Not really.
Yeah,
but,
Kevin, I'm giving you babysitting responsibilities for him.
Not my job after 5 o'clock.
Well, Kevin, Ryan, thanks again. Ryan, like I said, welcome to the team. Look forward to meeting you. And everybody get over to the Kolar tent at the U.S. Open and check out that Dead Pair Kolar gun and the other beautiful guns they're going to have there. So thanks again, guys.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
Touching on that, we're going to have some stuff by John Novak out there, a nice black leaf
cool.
scroll. So there's going to be some cool things to there's going to be some really cool stuff to check out. So definitely swing by and see what we can offer.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Really cool. Well, thanks again, guys. Appreciate it very much.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you
It
guys.
was a pleasure. Nice meeting y'all.
The Dead Pair.
Well, Jason, I tell you what, I said it before, I'll say it again. Paul is a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think his story is very interesting. I mean, we're talking everything from Colt firearms to distilleries and shooting with, one thing he didn't mention, he knows a lot of big name people. Like he rubs shoulders with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, but what an interesting guy. Absolutely love having him part of this program and can't thank him enough for everything he does for us, for sure.
Yeah, and he is truly passionate about the outdoor sports, about sporting clays, about shooting in general. He's definitely an outdoorsman. And again, it all coincides with his business. I mean, he's got all that property and stuff where they do not only the bourbon and the distillery and all that stuff, but he's got maple trees. He's making maple syrup. I mean, the guy's got so much going on. I don't know how he keeps it all straight day to day.
Yeah, it's a lot, I mean, but hey, he seems to do it with a smile and it's no big deal,
Yeah.
It's one of the things I love about Paul. He just, everything's so, how do I want to say it? It just kind of rolls off the shoulders, the hard stuff and the easy stuff. He takes it in stride. So,
Yeah.
Paul's a great guy. And like I said, we love having him part of this program. Speaking about part of this program, Sean, we encourage people every week. What's our message one more time?
Yeah, well, it's very simple, guys. Take somebody new shooting. If we're going to grow this sport, we got to bring more people in. Take Paul, for example. He's out there. He doesn't have to, but he's supporting people in the industry, shooters, our podcast, because you know why? Because he loves it, because he knows it's important. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be as grandiose as that. Hey, if you've got a business or something and you want to be able to support some shooters in the sport, I'm sure they would love to be considered by you if you have the means to do so. But, honestly, it doesn't have to be anything that that major. Take somebody, just grab them, take them out to the range, put a gun in their hand, rent a gun for them, show them some basics, get the moves down, have them bust a couple clays, watch that smile, and off they go.
Yep, 100%. But what I was getting at with that message in mind is, if you introduce them to the sport and they absolutely love it, introduce them to this program.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to launch our new series here coming up. And I think that a lot of people are going to get some really good information out of it, not from us two knuckleheads, but from the guests that we're going to have on.
Oh yeah.
They're going to lend their expertise. So, our job is to get them on here and ask the questions and get all you listeners, the best information that we possibly can. So, and we're going to do that. We're got a little series here starting. It's a 3-part series. I think everybody's going to enjoy it, get a lot of information out of it. Even if you are a veteran shooter, you don't know, maybe you'll pick up on a few things. So,
yeah.
And no matter what, it's always interesting to hear someone else's opinion or take on things. So,
yeah.
But yeah, introduce them to this program. Maybe it'll help them along.
Yeah. And not to mention, hey, we've been doing this now for 5 freaking years, Jason. I'm telling you what, it's hard to believe it's been that long, but we have got an awful lot of older content that is still valid to this day. We've had an awful lot of great guests, great shooters, great vendors on. If you haven't listened to everything, go back through our catalog and check out some of the titles. And maybe there's a few things there that you haven't heard or you haven't listened to yet. Maybe you can pick up some knowledge from those.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Sean, because we get a lot of suggestions emailed to us on a regular basis, and we are truly grateful for that. We want to hear what you people want to hear. But sometimes they suggest some things that we've already done. Mm-hmm. So if you're new to the program, I know there's a lot of episodes there. We're well north of 200 now. But in your time, if you've already been caught up to this week's episode, go back and listen to some of those older ones. There's a lot of great information on there.
Yeah.
And before you send us an idea, you might just kind of thumb through them and see if we haven't already done that yet. But if we haven't, by golly, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't hesitate to write us. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. And along those notes as well, again, we're all about helping everybody out. And again, if you write us, it's no big deal. We'll tell you what episode, if we've done something in the past. You're not going to get chastised about it or anything, but we'll let you know, hey, no, we did this on episode 42 or 160 or whatever it was. Happy to reply to that. And so again, keep those questions coming. We're here to help in any way we possibly can.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, we're still willing to do the questions for the coaches. If you have a specific question and you'd like to hear from a specific coach, man, just write us and tell us. We'd be more than happy to get them on for you.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet as of lately. So hopefully with spring kicking off here, Jason, and things getting better, everybody's going to be in the mood to go out there and bust some birds, and they're going to have some questions forming like, how did I miss that? Or how should I be approaching that? Or what's the technique for this type of a bird? So on and so forth. Those are the questions, guys, that we can get answered by the people that know.
Right. Not only that, but we're a month away from the championship tour kicking off, and that's going to spark a lot. That's going to spark a lot more interest and spark a lot more, shoots are getting ready to fire off, like you said, Sean, and, people are going to start diving into things. So if you got a question, you're out there practicing or you're out there training, or maybe it's from a tournament and you've had trouble and you really like some help and, hey, maybe it's just a question you need to answer. You don't want to pay for a 2-hour lesson from somebody. Man, give us a call, send us an email, send us a direct message. We'll get your question answered.
Yeah, and the price is right.
Yeah, can't beat the price of free.
That's right.
So, well, Sean Alley, this has been a great episode, my friend. Really, really thankful to Mr. Paul Coughlin for coming on here and speaking with us. Always thankful for all of his help and generosity and being a part of this program. So thank you to him. Thank you to all of our sponsors. If you guys haven't yet, check them out, patronize them. You'll understand why Sean and I brag about them week in and week out. Could absolutely not do what we're doing without their help. So check them out and see why we love them so much. So, but until next week, Mr. Alley.
Can't wait to see y'all back here on the Dead Pair Podcast.
We'll see you next time on the Dead Pair Podcast.
The Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by Kolar Arms, the mark of performance, and is fueled by Fiocchi USA. The Dead Pair theme song was written, arranged, and produced by Toby Tomplay. Special thanks to the following sponsors: Atlas Traps, Ranger Performance Eyewear, Rhino Chokes, Long Range LLC, Taconic Distillery, Score Chaser, and Clay Range Design Works.